So that's a nuisance. And if 3 feet is not high enough, how high is? I don't know. Obviously, there was no deterrent for a 45-year-old man to cross that fence with his chainsaw and think that it was his own property. And, you know, this case that, oh, well, I'm not a lawyer. I can't respond to that. But it's my understanding that if this does go to court, that there's prescriptive rights, and especially view rights, are a lot less clear than Mr. Jared Carter would have you think. But I'll let the council have his say on that. Anyway, I have no other comment.
Mr. Plenty, a question. You state there's no fence of any kind along the ocean side of Lot 6. How about Lot 4?
Yes, there is.
There is.
That was one of those houses that before the Carters bought it was a vacation rental.
Okay, so there is a 3 foot approximately?
I think that's 5 foot drape stakes, yes. There's
5 foot. Okay, along 4. All right. Any other questions from the board to Mr. Plenty? Okay. Any additional, Mr. Plenty? Okay.
Oh, I have one other question, actually.
Sure.
If, as Mr. Carter indicated, there is no appeal to this, if the permit is turned down, is that correct? I mean, there's no other remedy?
Mr. Lynch, can you answer that?
If the project were to be approved, there's an appeal to the Coastal Commission. They have to find whether or not it relates to any coastal resource issue and whether or not they adhere it. If the project is denied, there's no appeal other than going to court.
See, denied by this board. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Plenty. Let's see. So, before I go to the board for questions, Mr. Lynch, any final remarks, reminders?
Staff remains convinced this is a civil matter between two property owners. I think you need to focus on the findings that are listed on page CPA 4, where it says findings, and it goes on to the next page, findings 1 through 7. And it's a question of whether the project is consistent or inconsistent with the coastal plan, CEQA, et cetera. And we don't think there's any issues that prevent you from approving this project.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lynch. Now to the board. Questions of the staff, the applicant, the appellant, and there was no public comment. So questions of those areas from the board. Supervisor Colfax.
This is to this question's to Mr. Lynch on CPA 5. This has been going on. I read this some time ago. Or seems like some time ago. I guess I'm a little bit talk about being embarrassed. I'm wondering why I'm up here. Is there anything in this that gives any indication that Mendocino County protects viewscapes? If so, I've given a lot of bad advice to people who have called me about somebody building a place that ruins their view. And either I'm appalled at the legal concept that's being brought forward here, or I should have gone to law school.
The county has, in its local coastal plan, or land use plan, we have policies that relate to visual resources, and that they stem from policies in the Coastal Act. The one I guess that has the most on point is 30251, and that's paralleled in LCP policy 3.5-1. And what it says is the scenic and visual qualities of Mendocino County coastal areas shall be considered and protected as a resource of public importance. Permitted development shall be sited and designed to protect views to and along the ocean and scenic coastal areas to minimize the alteration of natural landforms, to be visually compatible with the character of surrounding areas, and where feasible, to restore and enhance visual quality in the visually degraded areas. New development of highly scenic areas, and it goes on. If the board wants to start getting into regulating private views, we'll be here a long time.
Well, I feel we've been here a long time already on this one. I just find it preposterous that this would even be brought to us. And I find it ironic, or at least entertaining, to see Mr. Carter talking about protection of viewscapes, when in fact there is no such thing, and not protecting property rights. I have about a 350-degree arc view of about 7,000 acres. And when they put a Walmart out on the ridge up nearest to me, somewhere 5 or 10 years from now, and absolutely wreck my viewscape, which has not a single building, nothing but redwoods. When they wreck that, I'm going to get Mr. Carter to come in and take on my case for me, talk about Walmart has no right to wreck Mr. Colfax. And I bet you won't do it, Jared. I bet you won't do it. But I really feel here, not pay you well. But